Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peter Watches TV, where I watch all the television shows, and then I come over here and I react to them and let you guys know what I thought about the television shows. Sometimes I also talk about movies over here, and this weekend I actually watched several movies. I watched The Gorge, I watched The Last Showgirl with Pamela Anderson and Jamie Lee Curtis. I watched a couple other movies, and so I'm going to cover some of those this week and next week. But today I want to talk about The Gorge. So I had seen some other people talking about this movie, and then I went over and I watched the trailer on Apple TV. And first of all, I love thrillers of any kind. I love anything that's futuristic and dystopian, which this isn't really dystopian, but I didn't really know what it was, and so I was kind of excited to watch it. It's also the kind of movie that I thought that my husband would like, and so we were sitting down getting ready to watch TV, and I said to him, okay, he had warmed up some food, and I said, we can either watch Traitors New Zealand, which is horrible, by the way, or we watched the UK Traitors, we've watched the Australian Traitors, we've watched the US Traitors, and so we're now watching New Zealand Traitors, which is not good. But anyway, so I was like, we can watch New Zealand Traitors, or I said there's like this movie, The Gorge. I asked him earlier if he wanted to watch it. So he put it on. He's like, yeah, I saw the trailer for this. This looks good. So we started watching it. I think it's like over 2 hours. I think it's like 2 hours and 6 minutes long or something like that. Let me read you the synopsis for it real quick, and then I will let you guys know what I thought about it. So here is the synopsis. The Gorge is a 2025 American science fiction romantic action film directed by Scott Derrickson and written by Zach Dean. It stars Miles Teller, Anya Taylor-Joy, and Sigourney Weaver. Teller and Taylor-Joy portray two elite snipers who are ordered to guard a deep gorge without knowing what lies inside. It was released on Apple TV on February 14th of 2025. So it was interesting that it's interesting that it calls it in here a science fiction romantic action film, because I said to my husband, I said, this is kind of like a rom-com for the future. And he goes, you think it's a rom-com? I go, yeah, it kind of is a rom-com a little bit. My husband, he used to hate rom-coms. Now he loves them. I'm not a big rom-com person unless it's done in kind of a different way. I mean, there's a few rom-coms through the years that I've loved, but by and large, I'm more of like a thriller, espionage, horror movies. I love horror movies. So the fact that they kind of mixed this thriller with a romance, I thought it was cute. I thought it was well done. So after I got done watching this movie, I think I posted at like right when we started it. So if you guys do not know, I have a new Instagram that goes along with this YouTube channel. It's called Peter Watches TV. It's linked below if you guys want to join it. But every night, whatever TV show I'm watching, like last night I was watching like Southern Hospitality, and I started Station 11 last night. So whatever television show I'm watching currently, we got caught up on White Lotus last night. So whatever TV show I'm watching, like in real time, I post on my Instagram like what I'm watching, because people are always asking me, what are you watching, or what did you think of this, or what did you think of that? So I put up there that we were watching The Gorge, and I just started getting all these messages over on that Instagram, and people were like, oh, I hated it, the acting was horrible, and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, I'm not reading any more of these messages until I get done with this movie. So the movie is about these two sniper assassins, and one is Miles Teller, who is in the movie Maverick. He's been in some other things as well, and he like has no family, and like nobody would miss him, and he's like this, like in the top 1% of snipers in the world. And then the other person is I didn't know her, is Anya Taylor-Joy, and she plays this sniper from Lithuania. And so they both get like called to do this new job. And part of it is that they don't really have anybody. She has like her dad, but like, anyway, it's kind of a sad side story. So anyway, so they don't really have anybody that would, like, if they went missing, would, you know, like, have them missing. I'm going to spoil some things for you, so if you're going to watch the movie, do not watch this review or reaction until after you've watched the movie. So they go out there, and I watched the trailer, and I was like, the reason why I wanted to watch the trailer was or why I wanted to watch the movie, I was like, I want to know what's in the gorge. So what it is they don't know where they are. They are flown by helicopter and, like, put out in the middle of nowhere in this huge forest, and there's this huge gorge, okay, that you have no idea how far down it goes, like if it goes miles or hundreds of feet, you have no idea, okay? And on either side of this gorge, facing each other, are these, like, I don't really know how to explain it, they're almost kind of like modern looking concrete lighthouses. And he lives in one on one side, and she lives on one on the other side. And what they are is like, all these world governments had made this pact that they were going to protect the gorge. Like I think it was after World War II, they decided that they were going to protect this gorge and all work together. But they don't know why they're there. They don't know really what they're protecting. They have no clue, except for the last person that's there tells them like what their job is. And they're supposed to be there for 365 days. So like, when Miles Teller gets there, I can't even remember what his character's name is. When he gets there, this is the other thing. Like, I didn't go into this thinking this was going to be like, you know, the greatest acting in the world or the greatest screenplay. I didn't go in. I mean, I knew what it was. I knew that it was like this movie about two people that fall in love over this gorge that they're trying to protect from what. I didn't go into it thinking it was going to be this like deep thing, and I thought the acting was, I mean, I can watch a movie with really bad acting and it doesn't bother me that much, you know? So I don't know. Like, I mean, yes, I love film and I love great movies, and that's a whole other discussion, you know, in the heels of the Academy Awards last night. But there's a lot of movies that I absolutely love. But when it comes to like movies like this, I kind of just go into it for the enjoyment factor. So anyway, Miles Teller, what's his character's name in here? Does it even say? I don't know, cast. Okay, let's see. He plays Levi, and she plays Drasa. And so, she's on one side, he's on the other side. So when Levi is dropped, so his boss is Sigourney Weaver, all right? And so when he gets dropped out in the middle of nowhere, he's met by this guy. And the guy's like, oh, I've been out there for a year, and like shows him how to make the vodka, and they have a garden and all this kind of stuff. And then basically his job, he says to him, is you're just supposed to live up here and then protect anything from coming out of the gorge. There's like these huge fences and stuff like that. He's like, well, what's in the gorge? He's like, well, we don't really know what's in the gorge, but you're supposed to protect it from, you know, whatever. And he's like, well, who's over there? And he's like, you're not supposed to talk. They're not allowed to talk to each other. They're not allowed to have any contact with each other. But they have these binoculars that are basically like super lens binoculars, and they can like see every move that the other person is doing from across the gorge, right? So they're there and they're left alone, and he's like journaling and writing poetry, and she's just like drinking and she's bored and all this kind of stuff. So then they start talking across the gorge. It's her birthday. And so she starts writing stuff on like this pad of paper, and like he has this dry erase board. And so they start having this is the rom-com part of it, okay? So they start having this relationship across the gorge. And, oh, this was the beginning of it, too. The guy that was there before him, like, he, like, gets picked up by this helicopter, and I looked at my husband, I go, they're gonna kill him. And he goes, I know, right? And so as he's being taken up by this helicopter, the guy says to him, thanks for your service, and then he shoots him and, like, throws him into the gorge. And so what you know then is that these people that are coming up there to protect the gorge for a year, they're just gonna be killed at the end of the year, right? So anyway, so you know that, but they don't know that. Okay, so anyway, they, like, have this thing back and forth, this, like, relationship, and then they, they're, like, falling in love and all that kind of stuff, you know. But they're lonely. They're real lonely and stuff, see. So anyway, so then he decides that he is gonna go across the gorge. I was like, oh, no, man. There's, like, at this point, we've already seen that there's, like, these things that look kind of like The Last of Us, you know, those things that have, like, that are, like, germs that are growing into, like, zombies and things like that. They're kind of, like, crawling out of there. Tree kind of people looking, dead people. There's all kinds of people that are crawling out of this thing trying to get there. They're, like, scary people. I don't really know how to explain it other than that. But anyway, kind of like zombies, but not really zombies. And really super powerful and fast. So he wants to go across the gorge on, like, the zip line kind of thing to go see her, okay? Because, like, he wants to meet her and he wants to, like, have dinner with her and take her these flowers and stuff like that. It's real sweet. But this is kind of where you lost me a little bit, because there's no fucking way I'd go over that gorge. I probably wouldn't even zip line, you know, I don't know, 10 feet across the ground, let alone, I'm not a risk taker, I'm just not, right? So anyway, he goes across there, and then he gets to the other side, and they have dinner and all this kind of stuff. But then, he can't, like, get all the way back, and then when he's going back, he, like, the cord drops, and, like, gets cut, and then he falls down into the gorge, and then she goes after him into the gorge. This is where I was like, is this thing based on a video game? Because then it started seeming like a video game to me. And I looked it up, and it said it's, like, based on, like, multiple ideas of video games, but not really, like, any one video game. So now they're down, like, in this, like, underground gorge world, right? But it's, like, more of, like, an underground world. And there's, like, a whole town down there with, like, churches and stores and cars. And it's been, like, I mean, this town's been, like, a ghost town for, like, 100 years, something like that. And then there's, like, this tree that he gets trapped in, and, like, comes alive, and it starts, like, putting teeth around it or something like that. And then she shoots the tree, and then it, like, anyway. So then there's, like, these ghost men that, like, I don't really get it. Like, they didn't really explain to people very much, except for that, like, why they are the way they are. Except for that they, like, are because of these toxins that come from this, like, radiation thing. I don't really get it, if you want to know the truth, but I don't really care. So anyway, so then they got to get out of the gorge. And the only way to get out of the gorge is to go to this wall. Well, they go to this wall. This is after, like, these, like, spider-looking things. This is what doesn't make sense about the movie, okay? Is that what you find out is that the reason why the people... So 2,400 troops went down to the gorge and none of them came out, okay, to, like, kill everything that's in the gorge. But what's weird is that then they go on this, like, church thing, and then there's, like, these robotic, like, spiders that, like, are, like, eating people and trying to get them, and then there's, like, trees that are, like, none of it makes sense, because, like, is it, like, robotic spiders, or is it a tree that comes alive? But then what you find out is that there's, like, this operation, I can't remember what it's called, but anyway, it's basically where it just, like, everything in the gorge is killed, okay? And that's, like, it's, like, for miles and miles and miles, and it's, like, the last thing they would do. It's like this huge, like, missile that's going to go off. Well, the missile has started to leak, and it started to leak these toxins, which is originally why the people started turning the way they did, or something like that. But then they get into the wall, and they find, like, all this, they find, like, these labs and things like that. Then they have to get out of this area, and then there's, like, these spider webs where people are, like, caught in these spider web looking kind of things. And then they're like, like, all these people are, like, breathing real deep, but they're dead, see? But they're, like, kept alive by, like, this spider web network, and they're, like, having to go through it, and then they're, like, shooting all these people, and then it's real freaky. Anyway, so then they, like, get back in this Jeep, and then they hook this cord up. He knows how to do all this kind of stuff, because he's a sniper, I guess, and she's a sniper, too. They're constantly fighting about who's the better sniper. But anyway, so then, like, they shoot up over so that the Jeep then is, like, climbing up the side of the wall. I said something to my husband. He goes, well, it is a Jeep. And I go, yeah, I guess. So anyway, so then all these dead people are trying to, like, get him on the Jeep and things like that. And then they get to the top, and then Sigourney Weaver's like, oh, no, 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 no. What they find out is that it's not really the government. It's, like, this company, okay? And the company is trying to make, like, super soldiers to, like, fight a war, and so then they'll have, like, world dominance. It's one of those kind of movies, right? So anyway, so then Sigourney Weaver, she comes and, like, with these, like, 3 guys, and she's like, no, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna kill him myself, because now he is, like, communicated to the other side. Because they set the computer off in the lab, in the wall, down in the nether regions, in the gorge, and so she knows that the computer went off, and so she's like, somebody set the computer off if it wasn't you, and then she sees her behind him, and she's like, he's been compromised. So then none of this is making sense unless she's seen the movie, but anyway, so then she's like, we gotta go kill him, okay? So I don't know who's gonna be out there in the White House next, because if she kills him, then they gotta find somebody else. So anyway, so then she goes to kill him, but see, they're smarter. And so him and this girl, Drasha or something like that, anyway, they know that they're gonna come and kill him, so they set up this whole wire to, like, blow up everything, and then they go off, and then they say they're gonna meet again. They don't really say this, but they're gonna, because she wants to go, like, to the south of France, this little town, she wants to be a waitress and stuff like that, which she ends up being. I mean, I guess it's everybody's dream to be a waitress in the south of France, but anyway, so she keeps on running after they set this stuff up. Then she thinks he dies, but he actually jumps in the water. So then it flashes forward. Sigourney Weaver, she blows up and all this kind of stuff. So then it's like 6 months later, and then she is in the south of France, and she's waiting tables at this restaurant. It looks real cute. The restaurant looked real cute. I don't remember the Yves, France, or something like that. I don't speak French, so I don't know how to pronounce it. But anyway, the town looks real cute. Anyway, so then, you know, of course, it's a rom-com. You forget that it's a rom-com, you know, because they're, like, shooting dead people, and, you know, robotic spiders are coming to get them, stuff like that. So then, anyway, so then, so all of a sudden, she's like, she has this feeling, because she's always has these feelings, right? And she, like, turns, and then, of course, he's, like, sitting there, you know? So, and then it's like a rom-com, and they're like, they live happily ever after. 2 snipers that took out the most powerful thing in the entire world, and they're just living in the south of France together. And she says something like, oh, if you're looking for a job, I can get you a job as a chef, or something like that, because they make jokes about how he can't really cook, and she makes him squirrel pie or something like that. It's cute rom-com. But anyway, is it a rom-com or is it a thriller? I don't know. My husband said it was a thriller. I said it's kind of like a rom-com for a new age, but you do find out what's in the gorge, and you actually find out pretty quick. It's like these, like, deadly things, and they're climbing the walls and stuff like that. I was like, no. I actually thought it was kind of, like, at first, I said to my husband, I said, would you live there? He goes, hell no. I said, I would. I kind of like just live there, and, like, you don't have any Wi-Fi or anything like that, but I could care less about the Wi-Fi and the phone. I just like to sit there and, like, read books all day long, and the gorge is real pretty. I mean, when the dead things aren't crawling out of it and stuff, like, it's real pretty. But anyway, did you all watch it? The acting was real bad, wasn't it? It was real bad. The acting was real bad, and But I loved her, and I loved him so much in it. And Sigourney Weaver, my husband and I, we got, well, not a fight, but I said to him late that night, I said something about, oh, like, I love Sigourney Weaver. I still remember the first time I ever saw her in Alien. And he goes, oh, really? And I said, yeah. And I said, I was like 7 or 8 years old. He goes, you couldn't have been, because I can remember when I saw it, and I was like in middle school or something like that. We looked up on the phone so quickly. It came out in 1979. I was 7 years old when I first was introduced to Sigourney Weaver. So I was right. And that's really the only thing that matters in marriage, is if you're right. You don't want to be wrong in a marriage. You want to be right. And I was right. So anyway, the moral of the story is, if you're alone, watch the movie. If you're married, watch the movie. If you're whatever, watch the movie. I don't care, okay? Just watch the movie. It was a cute movie. It was fun. It's nothing deep, though, so don't get real into don't be judging the acting. It's not going to win no Academy Awards or nothing like that. I'm telling you, it's just not, okay? But it's fun. It was a fun watch. So anyway, let me know what you thought in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.